And that did nothing. Let's try again. Page up. Start recording. Hey guys. How's it going? The Jims here, and we're on the Crackpack server. Just minding our own little business. And doing things, stuff. So, I think we need to place those two tiles with some obsidian. What do you guys think? I think so. Today, we are going to look into a very interesting mod indeed. It's one that I honestly had no clue about until very recently. Probably about a week or two ago. It was mentioned to me on by someone else that I play with, Panzim84, and he was basically like just mentioned Steve's Factory Manager, and I had never heard of it before. I guess he was using it for crash landing or something of some sort. I don't know. But none of those two. Basically, I had never really messed with this mod before until then, and it's a pretty powerful mod. I don't think it was in the last mod pack, but and I think it's by the same developer that did Steve's Cards, I believe. I'll have to double check that. But it's all about inventory management. You've got Steve's Factory Manager. That mod.steve's Factory Manager. Just a couple little blocks here, nothing major. But they do some pretty amazing stuff. I'll start with a very basic one that I've got here. And this secondary chest is really optional. I don't really need this one up here. I mean, it's nice to have all my bread, you know, in a different chest, but totally not needed. So what I've got here is, you know, my better chest farm. And it's basically making plenty of wheat. And we got some leftover seeds that we could just throw away. In fact, how about we automate that really quick? Automate throwing away the extra seeds, eh? That should be easy enough. And I'll kind of give you an idea of what all it can do. I'm gonna have to get rid of my search here. Maybe I can do this like, yeah, whatever. Void upgrade. So it does a lot of awesome inventory management. Hi, baby. And for instance, see how I've got so many stacks of seeds down there, right? I'm just going to go ahead and create a trigger, input and output. So this trigger, it's what is used to start pretty much every little chain of events, if you will. You can have a couple different settings. If you have redstone interacting with it, you can change it to a redstone controlled, or you can do like a block update detector even. And you can have like particular update detectors that are available within the mod itself, or redstone receivers that are also available within the mod itself. So those are kind of cool. For now, we're just going to keep to the basic interval, and we're not going to modify that. It's just every second it's going to check and do some commands. It's going to basically follow this chain of events. So we start by doing an input. So our input is going to be an inventory, which we've got 3 chests here. It's going to be this bottom chest there that we're going to input from. So inventories, and Y54, 55, 53, that one. Target, that's just which direction of the chest we're going to take stuff from. Items, we're going to do a, let's say it's a black list here, but we're just going to go ahead and whitelist seeds. Actually, yeah, it is going to be a blacklist seed. Specify amount, and we'll say we want to keep 48. It's like 3/4 of a stack or something like that. No. Output inventory is going to be this void chest that we've made, which is now 54. And target, whichever. Doesn't really matter for that because it's just a chest. And items, we're going to, I think we also blacklist here too. I kind of understand how this kind of works. It's all pretty complicated. So hopefully this, hold on, before I connect that, input items, blacklist. I think I want a whitelist there. Because if I blacklist, wait, output. If I blacklist from the input, it's basically saying I want to take everything except for this many seeds, right? But what about the other items? Is it just going to grab those and throw them away as well? And then if I do a blacklist on the output, it'll do the same thing. That's why I'm thinking the output blacklist. I don't know. There's some particular order you have to do this in so that it'll leave stuff behind. I just connected it, so let's see what we have left. We still have all of our seeds left. Okay. So something we did there didn't quite sync up right. What we'll do here is we will do disconnect it because we don't want to accidentally lose all of the items. We will go ahead and blacklist here and whitelist here, and we don't really care about the amount, just want seeds. Okay, specify amount, no, and let's see what that does. All of them gone. Okay, so that's not what we wanted. But this is a really powerful mod. Just go ahead and disconnect that. So we want items, blacklist, 48. Now, see, my understanding is that it would blacklist 48. It would leave all but 48. Maybe we need to blacklist the output and whitelist the input, and go back and whitelist. Okay, now we connect it and see what we get. We have 57 seeds. Okay, moving on. So let me go into a little more mechanics that we have with this machine, because I could probably tinker around with that for the next hour and not get it figured out, even though I've got it set up perfectly right on another server. So basically you've got your wheat and seeds. I'm going to put the seeds here just because. And I just added the void chest, but what did I already have set up here? So I had a trigger, which is your interval, input of this bottom inventory, and just the wheat. So it's going to take that wheat, and we're going to put it into a crafter module. The crafting for this is basically take the wheat, turn it into wheat flour. And excessive inventories, like if you have extra, like if you get more than one item from crafting, it puts the items in this inventory. The top inventory, big deal. I just chose one just because. Not sure what priority. Craft before moving, move before crafting. Okay. I'm sure that comes into play with some advanced crafting features. And then your output, I'm just going to that top chest here. And items, everything. Because the only thing that I should have at this point, after doing the input, doing the craft, is going to be your wheat. Which is right here. And wheat cooks into bread, which cooks into toast. Pretty cool. So I've got my I got my toast farm here. So that's a little bit of what it does. Let's go into some more of the basic uses put to use. Because I've really not gotten really in depth with it, because I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that this mod can do. We'll show this the Britannia setup we got here. Looks like that's empty now. Bink. So I had that chest there. Let's go ahead and replace it, shall we? We got a matter guy and a jigger right here. Boop. Boop. Yeah, whatever. Fill up with stuff. I don't care what. And we're just gonna blow up this guy right here. Okay. And I'll have to configure it to recognize that new chest, since it wasn't, even though it was already configured with a chest, the chest got replaced, so it's like, what? You added another chest? Why would you do such a thing? And grab that. Okay, there we go. So this is another fairly basic setup. What it's doing is automating some stuff. We'll click on it and show you step by step. So we've got a couple triggers. A lot of them we could probably tie together, but got your basic where you start at here. Items. Okay, yeah. So this is where it starts. It's going to basically be pulling, and this is an optional one. If I could just manually feed this with oak wood, would basically doing the same thing as what that little chain right here does. Move this over. So what we're doing is we're taking all the oak wood from that barrel. That's our input, inventories, oak barrel. And we're just going to simply move it, output, inventories, to the adjustable chest with a whitelist of 64. So what that's doing is having a whitelist on the output means that it moves, but it'll only stick a stack. So it will make sure to keep just one stack in there. Pretty cool. That's what I was trying to do over there, but kind of the opposite. More like leave behind a stack, move everything else. Anyway, that's step one. So it gets the oak wood here. The oak wood, this is a burning furnace adjustable chest, so it's getting cooked into charcoal. We're going to take that charcoal, and it's going to be your input here. Very similar to how we had the wheat set up over there, and we're going to craft it into blocks of charcoal, and we're just going to output it to this iron chest we got. I used an iron chest just so it wasn't like all adjustable chests, you know. It's easier to differentiate when you're doing the yeah, those. Like if you had just all adjustable chests there, it's like which one is it? You gotta mouse over and figure out the coordinates. Moving on. So the final step of this, wait, this isn't the final step. What does this do? Alright, so this moves the charcoal. So we get the charcoal cooked. We move the charcoal to here, because if you don't move it automatically or right away, then you will have the charcoal will get cooked into graphite, which is no bueno. We don't want graphite. So that's what that does. And then we have a feeder set up here, which is we have one of those redstone receivers I was talking about earlier. And I've got a lever hooked onto that, so whenever I click it on, and a paper blade, paper handle. Other rod. So we got that redstone receiver. We've got it set to an interval of 400 seconds. Redstone sides. You can choose which side of the thing we want to take the redstone signal from. You could have different signals going into different sides. Connections. Yeah. Okay. So there's our redstone, and it's got 4 little, whatever outputs here. Low pulse, low signal, high pulse, high signal. High signal is what I'm using because we've got the redstone thing hooked directly, the lever hooked directly up to the redstone receiver. From there, it does. Huh. From there we go back to this chest, and from that chest we are going to take 8 of these blocks of charcoal. So if you notice on the blocks of charcoal it has a burn time of 16,000. If you divide that by 20, you get how many seconds it is, which is 800 seconds. Divide that by 2, that's how long it'll last in the end of flame. And we're going to take those and we're going to spit it out to this item valve here. So item valves are pretty awesome. Basically, instead of having an inventory internally, hold on, let's check on something. So it does. Good question. What did I use for mine? Writable, sharpness. Huh. Wish I could remember what I use on mine, but what is it? There's some nether ore that gives regen vampirism, so you gain HP when you attack. Wait, did he say control? He did say control. I didn't know you could do that. Let's check that out. Huh. Apparently I used 2 paper tool rods. Apparently I fell and used 2 paper tool rods, even though only one gives you the modifier. Alright, so moving on. The item valve. So with the inventory management, you're basically working with certain management or with inventories. But the item valve, its inventory is everything around it. And you can have it spit out items, and you can have it gather items. Is it pig iron? Nope. Like, oh yeah. One sec. AMOR drive. AMOR. I swear I just heard a chest open, but it wasn't me. Freaky. Alright, so let's hop into our processing lounge and I'll show you. More advanced use that I have for, which really it's not that advanced even. It's just basically the same thing all over again. But it's just awesome. Like, you can basically automate all the things that you need in one little block. Like, I want to pull this from this and put it in here and put it in there. Oh yeah, and by the way, you have to connect everything with these, sure. You have to connect everything with these inventory cables as well. So like, let's hop out. That's not the one I wanted to show you. I actually wanted to show you our assembly chamber automation. Come on. Ooh, dropping frames? Nope. Just high encoding usage. He does have them. Okay, so here's an example of using the... I thought I did this differently. I guess not. Oh well. So, yeah, a little complicated here. Basically, I've got a couple patterns here. And like your bare materials, like silicon, redstone, and pure sources quartz. And I've got this guy that automates putting all the items in, taking all the items out, in the order they need to go in and come out. And then once we get the final product, it puts it in the ME interface. Pretty nice. We also have it configured for this item valve, and that's what I wanted to show you. So, for instance, pure. Yes, this is what I've got. One chain to do all my pure stuff. Basically, any seeds that we get, we are outputting them to our item valve. Okay, so that item valve is just going to be like bloop, 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 throwing the seeds into the water where they're getting, you know, charged up. Pretty nice. Once they get charged, you know, purified, whatever, once they grow to full tuition, I believe, okay, it's not that. Where is it at? Nope. Here we go. So like I said, this guy, his inventory is all the items around him. So when we're looking for pure, these are all the things that you get once the seeds are grown to full. So we're basically going to grab those using the item valve and send them wherever. Here we send them to the ME interface. That's pretty cool. So if you want to, like, I don't know, do anything with items and chests involved, like moving items around and keeping items behind, and all sorts of fun stuff, auto crafting, like this mod can pretty much handle it. It might take a little bit. You can add, like, there are so many options. Let's just look at these options here, shall we? So you've got your, you know, your basic trigger, which starts a whole chain of events. Input, output, condition, like you can have it split true or false. As you see, I've got a couple here actually. Items. So silicon and redstone. If it has that, condition true, you go over here. Does it have something else? Condition true, you go over here and do a lot of other stuff. And you got flow controls that you can split out the outputs. Like your input will split into two outputs. And you can even have, like, I guess, I haven't tried the liquid stuff yet, but liquid input, liquid output. Interesting. I wonder if there's a megabucket per tick limitation for that too. I don't know. Liquid conditions. Probably looking for, like, you choose a tank, target, liquids, choose a liquid. Let's see here, what's a good liquid? Water. And specify amount, buckets, mill buckets, pretty cool. So there's a lot of stuff this mod can do. Variables, redstone emitter, you can configure a redstone emitter, I guess. Condition. You can even make, like, a group, a command group. I'd like move all these into one group, and then have another, like, window like this, and it's its own little group. I mean, it's just amazing, like all the things, and that's just touching on, like, that one block. At mod Steve's factory manager. There are also some pretty awesome inventory relays which will interact with your inventory. So like if you go up and push a button or step over something and push a button, it'll like equip you with particular items, or it'll dump all the items in your inventory, like take all the ores out automatically and put them into ore processing, and it just does so much awesomeness. Item valves, we talked about those. Block detectors, you can detect like block updates. Oh, this has grown to a particular size. Yes, then that triggers a redstone signal or triggers one of the trigger events, which does stuff. Cable clusters are basically allowing you to put all of these other, like the item valve, the redstone emitter, and the inventory relay all into one cable as opposed to having several different cables. That's the warp effects. Double-sided camouflage, transforming camouflage. So these camouflages are pretty cool too. Basically, your inventory cables you can use as the camouflage and make it look like any other block. And like, in the easy like section too, like you basically choose what block you want it to look like in a window like that. You don't even have to have it. You can make it look like it. It apparently gives research for Ordos. At least that's my experience. Yeah, so that's Steve's Factory Manager and a quick. Oh, hey, check it out, Blood Moon. Blood Moon. I got some pretty awesome looking armor. Let me put that on and show you guys. Check me out, Thalmcraft armor. It drops from the Crimson Knights. It looks pretty pimpin' on me though, I must say. And that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. Thank you all for watching, and tune in next week for another awesome mod that we